Good morning, students. We were studying chapter number 4, climate. In this chapter, we studied about the definition of climate, weather, monsoon, the different climatic controls, the factors affecting climate. Now, in this chapter, we also introduced ourselves with some new words that was jet stream, Coriolis force, western cyclonic disturbances, and so on. Now we are going to continue with the topic that is the Indian monsoon. Now if we are talking about climate, we are first going to discuss about the Indian monsoon. The climate of India is strongly influenced by monsoon winds. The sailors who came to India in historic times were one of the first to have noticed the phenomena of the monsoon. Means those sailors which came to India from outside the country, okay, they were the first people who noticed the phenomena of monsoon, that how are the monsoon winds, or how do the monsoon winds influence the climate of India. They benefited from the reversal of the wind system as they came by sailing ships at the mercy of winds. Means the reversal of the wind system, okay? The reversing of the wind system helped these sailors to come to our country at the mercy of the winds. The Arabs who had also come to India as traders named this seasonal reversal of the wind system monsoon. Means this is a seasonal reversal, means season wise reversing of the winds. Okay. So here we have, see, just here is given the map, that is with atmospheric conditions over the Indian subcontinent the month of January. Then we have the under map in the month of June, which is the hottest month. Okay. The monsoons are experienced in the tropical area roughly between 20° north and 20° south. Okay, so what is the phenomena of this monsoon? The monsoon is experienced in the tropical areas where the temperature, where it is 20° north to 20° south. To understand the mechanism of the monsoon, the following facts are important. First, if you are studying about monsoon, you have to know some important facts. The differential heating and cooling of land and water. Differential means at what time the land and the water, it heats and it cools down. Creates low pressure on the landmass of India while the seas around experience comparatively high pressure. Now what happened? The differential heating and cooling of land and water, it creates pressure on landmass of India. Which type of pressure? Low pressure. Okay, the differential heating and cooling of land and water, it creates low pressure on the landmass and it creates high pressure on the sea. The shift of the position of intertropical convergence zone in summer over the Ganga plains. This is the equatorial trough, normally positioned about 5° north of the equator. It is also known as the monsoon trough during the monsoon season. Now, the shift of the position of the intertropical convergence zone. Now, what is the meaning of intertropical convergence zone? It is an equatorial trough which is positioned about 5.5° north of the equator. Okay, it is a trough, it is positioned to the 5° north of the equator. And it is also known as monsoon trough because during the monsoon season. So the shift of the position of this intertropical convergence zone also helps, or it also affects the monsoon. The presence of the high pressure area east of Madagascar, approximately at 20° Celsius over the Indian Ocean. Now, the presence of the high pressure area means if you go to the east of Madagascar, then there is high pressure area, and just because of that, what happens? The monsoon changes. The intensity and position of this high pressure area affects the Indian monsoon. Okay, the intensity, that what is the position of this high pressure area, at which position is this high pressure area, it affects the monsoon of India and the intensity of it. Okay. The Tibetan plateau gets intensely heated during summer, which results in strong vertical air currents. and the formation of low pressure over the plateau at about 9 kilometers above sea level. Now here what happens? The Tibetan plateau, okay? It gets heated, intensely heated during summer times. What happens in this? In this, it results in strong vertical air currents. It helps the strong vertical air currents and the formation of low pressure over the plateau. It helps to form low pressure over the plateau, and it also helps the strong vertical air currents at about 9 kilometers above sea level, means above the sea level, okay? The movement of the westerly jet stream to the north of Himalayas. Now, the moving of westerly jet streams to the north of Himalayas and the presence of the tropical easterly jet stream over the Indian peninsula. Okay, the westerly jet stream to the north of Himalaya and the tropical easterly jet stream over Indian peninsula during summer times. Okay, so here down we have the definition of intertropical convergence zone, that it is a broad trough of low pressure in equatorial latitudes. Okay, in the equatorial latitudes, the low pressure areas, we can see a broad trough of low pressure. This is where the northeast and the southeast trade winds converge, means the northeast and the southeast, both the winds are converging itself. This convergence zone lies more or less parallel to the equator. Okay, more or less it is parallel to the equator. They do not meet, but they are in a parallel position, but moves north or south with the apparent movement of the sun. As the movement of the sun changes, this also changes. Apart from this, it has been noticed that changes in the pressure conditions over the southern oceans also affect the monsoons. The whatever the pressure conditions, means whatever the pressure, okay, what are the changes in pressure, that we have sometimes high pressure, low pressure in the southern oceans also affect these monsoons. Normally, when the tropical eastern South Pacific Ocean experiences high pressure, the tropical eastern Indian Ocean experiences low pressure. Okay, when you are talking about the tropical eastern South Ocean, let's see, tropical eastern South Pacific Ocean, it experiences high pressure. The tropical eastern Indian Ocean experiences low pressure. But in certain years, there is reversal in the pressure conditions, and Eastern Pacific has lower pressure in comparison to the Eastern Indian Ocean. See, it was about the previous time. That previously what happened? The tropical Eastern South Ocean, Pacific Ocean was experiencing high pressure. But in certain years, what happened? It has been comparatively low than the eastern side of the Indian Ocean. This periodic change in pressure conditions is known as the southern oscillation, or SO, means this difference between the pressure is known as southern oscillation. The difference in pressure over Tahiti and Darwin in northern Australia is computed to predict the intensity of the monsoons. Means seeing the monsoon conditions or seeing the difference in pressure over Tahiti and Darwin, you can say that what is the intensity of monsoon, how intense is it. If the pressure differences were negative, it would mean below average and late monsoons. Okay, means if the differences were negative, means they were, if the differences were in minus, then what happens? It means late monsoon and average pressure. A feature connected with the SO, that is the southern oscillation, is the El Nino phenomena, in which a warm ocean current that flows past the Peruvian coast in place of the cold Peruvian current every 2 to 5 years. Now what happened? A feature which is connected with the southern oscillation, which was the difference in the pressure conditions. Okay, difference in the pressure conditions was known as southern oscillation. So there is a phenomena, that is El Nino, which is connected, in which what happens? A warm ocean current that flows fast past the Peruvian coast, means the warm flow current which in past, मतलब कि जो पुराने टाइम में पेरुवियन कोस्ट को क्रॉस करता था, in place of the cold Peruvian current. Okay, every 2 to 5 years, हर 2 से या 5 साल तक ये जो ओशन करंट है वो मूव करता था. The changes in pressure conditions are connected to the El Nino. Means whatever pressure conditions changes, they are connected with the El Nino. Hence the phenomena is referred to as ENSO, that is एल नीनो सदर्न ऑसिलेशन, मतलब जो भी वार्म ओशन करंट जो पास्ट पेरुवियन कोस्ट को फ्लो करता था इन प्लेस ऑफ द कोल्ड पेरुवियन कोस्ट 2 to 5 years. Now you can just see the definition of El Nino. This is the name given to the periodic development of a warm ocean current along the coast of Peru as a temporary replacement of the cold Peruvian current. Means in replacement of cold Peruvian current, we have warm Peruvian current. So it is a name. El Nino is given a name for a periodic development, okay, of a warm ocean current in place of cold current. El Nino is a Spanish word meaning the child and refers to a baby Christ, as this current starts flowing during Christmas. Okay, it can be known as baby Christ also because it flows during the time of Christmas. The presence of the El Nino leads to an increase in sea surface temperature and weakening of the trade winds in the region. What happens here? This presence of El Nino, what happens in this? It happens or it increases the sea surface. Whatever the temperature is in the sea surface, it increases the sea surface temperatures and it weakens the trade winds in the region. So this was about the topic of monsoon. Now we will study about the onset of the monsoon and withdrawal. Means when the monsoon starts and when it overs. Okay. The monsoon, unlike the trades, are not steady winds but are pulsating in nature. Means they are not steady nature. Okay. The monsoons are not the same. They regularly change. Okay. Means they are unlike the trades. They are not steady winds. Means they are not वो स्थिर जो भी ये जो मानसून विंड्स होती है वो स्थिर नहीं होती, वो बदलती रहती है, बट आर पल्सेटिंग इन नेचर, दे चेंजेस affected by different atmospheric conditions encountered by it. Means the monsoon are affected by these atmospheric conditions, temperature है, pressure है. Okay, so these monsoon is affected by these atmospheric conditions on its way over the warm tropical seas. The duration of the monsoon is between 100-120 days from early June to mid-September. Okay, so what is the time period of the monsoon? It is from 100 to 120 days from talking from early June to the mid-September. Around the time of its arrival, the normal rainfall increases suddenly. Okay, around the time of its arrival, when the monsoons are going to arrive, what happens? The rainfall, okay, the rainfall increases suddenly and continues constantly for several days. Okay, that this is known as burst of the monsoon. Burst of the monsoon means when the monsoon is going to arrive, what happens? The rainfall suddenly increases, and this is known as the burst of the monsoon and can be distinguished from the pre-monsoon showers. Means a differentiation can be made between monsoon and pre-monsoon showers. The monsoon arrives at the southern up of the Indian peninsula generally by the first week of June. The southern tip, which is the southern tip of Indian peninsula, or we can say the Indian subcontinent, it is the Indira point, right? Okay, so the monsoon arrives at the southern tip of the Indian peninsula generally by the first week of June. Means by the first week of June, the southern tip of Indian peninsula, that is the Indira point, it attains the first rainfall. Subsequently, it proceeds into two, the Arabian Sea branch and the Bay of Bengal. The Arabian Sea branch reaches Mumbai about 10 days later on approximately the 10th of June. Means the first shower received by Bombay. What happens? The monsoon starts, okay. If the monsoon starts, it is divided into two sectors. First of all, it arrives in the southernmost tip of Indian peninsula. Then it is divided into two branches, that is Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. And whenever you are talking about the Arabian Sea first reaches to Bombay, and then whatever can be the timing of this, that is 10 days later, that is 10th of June. This is a fairly rapid advance. The Bay of Bengal branch also advances rapidly and arrives in Assam in the first week of June. Means if you are talking about the Arabian Sea, it reaches to Mumbai first, and if you are talking about Bay of Bengal branch, it reaches Assam first. The lofty mountain causes the monsoon winds to deflect towards the west over the Ganga plains. Now, the lofty means the long the long mountains, what happened? They deflect the winds to move to the west side. By mid-June, the Arabian Sea branch of the monsoon arrives over Saurashtra and Kutch and central part of the country. Okay, to Saurashtra and Kutch side by mid-June. The Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal branches of the monsoon merge over the northwestern part of the Ganga plains. When talking about the northwestern part of the Ganga plains, these two branches, that is the Arabian branch and the Bay of Bengal branch, they both merge. Delhi generally receives the monsoon showers from the Bay of Bengal branch by the end of June. Okay, it means Delhi is connected with the Bay of Bengal branch, and so it gets rainfall at the end of the June. In tentative date, we can say 29th of June, and we receive rainfall in Mumbai on 10th June. By the first week of July, western Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, and eastern Rajasthan experience the monsoon. By mid-July, the monsoon reaches Himachal Pradesh and the rest of the country. So these are the states, okay, from where the monsoon wind starts and till where it overs. Withdrawal or the retreat of the monsoon is a more gradual process. The withdrawal of the monsoon begins in northwestern states of India by early September. Withdrawal of monsoon means okay, where what is the time of monsoon being over, मतलब कब monsoon खत्म होता है, ये एक gradual process है. Okay, it begins in the northwestern states. इंडिया का जो नॉर्थ वेस्ट साइड है उसमें स्टार्ट होता है मिड सितंबर में, अर्ली सितंबर में सॉरी. By mid-October, it withdraws completely from the northern half of the peninsula. Okay, starting from the early September to the mid-October, what happens? The northern part of India has been withdrawal from monsoon. The withdrawal from the southern half of the peninsula is fairly rapid. By early December, the monsoon has withdrawn from the rest of the country. Okay, starting from the early September to the mid-October, the northern part is withdrawn, and till the end of the December, the rest of the country also there is withdrawal of the monsoon. The islands receive the very first monsoon showers progressively from south to north from the last week of April to the first week of May. Now that was about the states. Now these are about islands. That the islands receive the very first monsoon shower when from south to north. Okay, from south to north. They start from the last week of April to the first week of May. The withdrawal takes place progressively from north to south from the first week of December to the first week of January. Okay, so you can see what there are changes in the directions. When there is onset of monsoon, when there is burst of monsoon, what happens from south to north? Okay, south to north from the last week of April to the first week of May. But when there is withdrawal of monsoon, then it is north to south from first week of December to the first week of January. By this time, the rest of the country is already under the influence of the winter monsoon. Okay, so what happens till December? The rest of the country has withdrawn from the monsoon. So here the islands come in this position. Okay, onset of monsoon south to north, and withdrawal of monsoon is north to south. So this is all for today. Thank you.